Welcome to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. This is a show all about a lifelong passion for movies and 20 plus years of experience in the film industry to create the most fun, entertaining, informative, and thought-provoking breakdown of Hollywood cinema as humanly possible. If you've ever seen a movie and have a sense of humor, this is the show for you. The Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn airs every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central right here at 216thenet. For more information or ways to be part of the show, reach out to 216thenet@gmail.com. The Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn is brought to you in part by the support of Golden Age Cinemas. Yes, it is a drive-in. www.goldenagecinemas.com.
Good evening. Welcome back to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. Today we got the Golden Age trailer breakdown. I'm here with my good friend Drew Cappuccino and Nick producing. So Drew, trailers, they're kind of the ultimate sales job, right? We used to, before the internet, we would get all excited for a new trailer for a movie because it was your first glimpse of something that you wanted to see. The first kind of like, it was kind of like an appetizer before the main course.
It was the setup and the disappointment all at the same time because the trailer would only give you so much feed, but then you had to wait months out before you got to it, right?
Exactly.
So so I love the segment, the trailer breakdown. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think so too. So a trailer, typically they want to appeal to the widest audience possible.
Mm-hmm.
Unless one of the trailers we're going to watch is for Star Wars, The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
That was geared specifically to Star Wars fans because it could be. It's already its own demographic.
It is.
Right?
It is.
But trailers typically want to promote or elicit a real emotional response. Try to make things relatable, characters that you would relate to. So let's dive right in. I think
right. I'm hungry.
The best trailer of all time is to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I say that because I like Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are we going to do The Phantom Menace?
No. You're right. First, there's a new trailer just came out yesterday on Tuesday. New trailer for The Flash. And this is a movie that you and I have discussed that we're very excited about.
Very excited.
So I'm excited because I have seen it and I'm jacked for it even more than I was just a couple weeks ago when we talked. But I really want to see your reaction.
I have not seen it yet.
So let's roll The Flash, the second and final trailer for The Flash.
Bring it in, Wizard Nick.
I lost my parents.
Wayne Manor.
That pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past. As if fighting crime would bring my parents back. You actually did that.
Oh.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
You lost both parents in one day.
Barry! Call 911 now! I went back in time to save my parents. But instead, I completely broke the universe.
If you went back and changed the past, this world must die. You changed the future.
Total
Do you know what this symbol stands for? Means hope, right?
Heart?
I will help you fight God.
Yep.
You want to get nuts?
Oh,
let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Oh.
I have to undo what I did.
We are in the miller.
Hey, Scott, man. Make us who we are.
Yeah, man.
I'm not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you.
What did you do?
behind that fuck.
No matter what
You
we
got a bad
do,
rep for a while.
we're not going to be able to fix this. No! Nobody dies!
Batman versus Zod. Come on.
Man, dude. Are you kidding me?
I know.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?
Oh my god.
Oh, Dean.
All right, so Drew, first reaction.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Wow.
A lot to unpack here.
Yeah, so I'm pumped. That's good. That's gonna be good. Now I followed the animated version of this.
Right. The
And
Flashpoint paradox.
yeah,
right?
Flashpoint
Yeah.
Paradox, which was awesomely
Mhm.
done, man. I mean, even the animation all the way down to the storyline.
Right.
And so this does follow pretty close to it. Love the fact that, you know, the different Batmans and we're going back to old school.
Yeah,
know,
because
a
you're
little
getting
bit.
the Ben Affleck Batman.
Yep.
Obviously the Michael Keaton.
Michael
It looks like he's the
Keaton.
main Batman in this,
Yep.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this better be a setup for Batman Beyond. This
I
better
hope
be.
so. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd kill for that. But let's talk real quick about the trailer itself.
Yes.
So there's a lot of hoops that this movie has to jump through. One, the Ezra Miller controversy, right? Which in and of itself is a difficult one to jump through.
Correct.
Two, they're trying to tie in a universe that they've already announced has ended with the Snyderverse, the Ben Affleck Batman, the Henry Cavill Superman.
Superman, yeah.
They're trying to tie in the Michael Keaton Batman universe. They've got Zod in here from Man of Steel.
Yep.
They showcased a whole lot, but I think they made it work. I think it worked as a trailer. I want to see it as a fan of the Snyderverse, but I also want to see it as a fan of the Michael Keaton Batman. I think it appeals to they did what they wanted to do, which was appeal to the largest comic book audience possible, and I think they did it. What do you think?
I think the trailer definitely identifies that. Now, I guess the big question is the trailer better than the movie? I
Right.
don't know.
Now that's
But
the thing.
if let's go back in time, DC, I'm a DC guy. I was DC way before I was Marvel. But Marvel did it right with their movies.
Right.
DC tried to play and hold cards, keeping up with the Smiths, right? With
Exactly.
that, and they didn't do very well with it. So if they were gonna fix that, what better way to do than a paradox?
Right. Do a
To where
multiverse.
You can replace just about anybody you want in the cast or bring it all together and then start a storyline moving forward from that.
exactly.
Which is huge. So I think according to the trailer, they did it. I'm pumped to see it. I'm excited. I hope what we just saw wasn't the entire movie.
I hope so too. I hope they didn't give too much away.
Right.
And we're going to discuss as we move through our little trailer list here. There's movies that were objectively bad that the trailers made to look like that they were going to
Correct.
be just a kick-ass film,
Oh,
right? And
right.
we already mentioned one of them. I mean, Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace is objectively not a good movie, but the trailer is just killer. I mean, it's
well, the trailer did well, and we'll tackle that
Yes.
with Phantom. I don't want to jump ahead of
No,
the
no,
game
no.
too much, but for the Flash, I mean, listen, there has to be a pre-screening at the theater for that one
Yeah,
too,
there
please.
will be. There will be.
Because man, as a matter of fact, why don't we do a podcast right after it at your place?
We could do that. We could
and talk about it. You know, that would be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we
There'll
could do
be
that.
folks. There will be a lot of spoilers today. So, just so everybody knows, today is not a live episode. Today is a recorded episode.
Right.
So, if you're trying to chat into a recorded episode, well,
It's not going to
we're
work.
gonna have to learn some things on technology.
We'll get
So
to your comment later.
right.
Oh,
At a
yeah.
later
You
date.
can feel free to comment back onto it. We will be back at normal time. Our next time on is
2 weeks from today. So what is that? May something. We'll have that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 7th.
7th. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
May 7th. Oh no, May
May 10th.
10th. May 10th.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be back live May
Yeah.
10th.
Awesome. So yeah, no, Flash. I'm in. Put me in. Coach.
I'm into. It's I'm with you. I hope that we didn't just see the whole movie. I hope that it's just kind of a teaser, like it should be, for a much bigger picture. But from what I see so far, man, I'm sold. I'm so sold.
Yeah, I mean, hands down, probably one of the best trailers for DC yet
By
that
far.
can come out for
And
any.
you know, you're right too, because this is a perfect jumping off point for the new universe, because you can recast, you can fix plot holes, you can do whatever you want with resetting a universe, and that's essentially what this.
Well, and
movie's
I'm pretty
trying to
sure
do.
that's what they did, or that's what they're doing with Marvel by
Right.
bringing back Wolverine and bringing it back. I mean, they're
All of
doing
them.
so many different things that you can. They mess with that timeline so much.
Right.
What timeline do you want to kick off with and make another movie? Right.
You can keep who you want to keep, recast who you want to recast. Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Wizard Nick?
Oh, I got some. I'm excited for it. It looks great.
Nick, are you a fan of the Snyderverse?
They're pretty decent.
Yeah,
I like the grand. They feel huge.
they do.
And I mean, that's a Zack Snyder movie. I mean, that's the whole.
That's what he
Right.
does. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Some of them are bloated.
Fair. That's fair.
They're not great, but they have a style to them.
Right.
There's a distinctness that
It always feels like he's trying to make a Lord of the Rings of the
Yes.
comic book
He,
movies. doesn't
he rolls in the drama.
He
Like,
does. Yeah,
he can make a comedy dramatic.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
he there's no doubt he's trying to make the best movie possible every single time.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he knows how.
If he knows how.
But
That's
the,
fair.
A for effort, though, Zach.
yeah, the
Yeah.
4-hour cut of Justice League, much better than the one that they for some reason
head and
decided to
shoulders.
release. in
I
theaters.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch Zach make an omelet. I you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. To me, he's got some skills. He took a broken movie and fixed it.
Absolutely.
To me, that's what he did.
Yeah.
He took something that they should have done in the beginning, and they didn't go that route. But he already took it pre-made, refilmed a few things here
Right.
and there, put his little spit shine on it, and came out. And it was. And I watched it again. I know it's a long movie.
I think it's
but
an excellent film.
That ending scene with Superman taking the axe right in the shoulder, and
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Right,
You know, I was
right.
like, "Oh!"
Right.
It got me excited all over
But,
again.
and they also made the villain Steppenwolf much cooler. Much
Way cooler. The armor, the
Yeah.
breathing armor.
yeah.
I mean, the details, right?
Absolutely.
In the beginning with Wonder Woman taking that slow motion,
Right.
making that whole scene so dramatic, and it really fixed it.
I'd argue that nobody does slow motion better than Zack Snyder.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he loves it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he uses it too
Too
much, but
much,
I don't
yeah.
think anybody does it better.
It's
than
in
him.
everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. But
So,
I decent fan of the Snyderverse movies.
Yeah.
They're distinct.
are you there for the reboot of the whole universe, the DC universe with James Gunn?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I like James Gunn.
I do
And what
too.
he's done. I mean, every single movie he's made, I've been at least kind of a fan of.
Right.
Sure.
He's got his own style. It seems like there's a direction, there's cohesion going on.
Right. Yeah.
This is kind of caught in the middle, the Flash movie.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. But
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti,
Yep.
who
Yep.
directed both It movies and Mama. I'm excited to see what he
Mama,
does.
that's an underrated horror film.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so that's a guy directing a 1,000-page It book for
Yep.
Stephen King. I think the Flash Paradox he can do okay.
It's
I
in
would
good,
have
it's
to
in good
say-
hands for sure.
I think it is in good hands. And listen, who am I to judge? You know what I mean? I don't make movies. I just want to watch them.
Right.
Take my money, dude.
Right.
Seriously.
But you're a perfect gauge for what the Flash is geared for, right?
Yeah.
It's a general
Right. So
I
it's-
would think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, I mean, breaking it back before it was animation, it was comics.
Yep.
And that's my realm. And I came from the book.
Right.
And then when the movies came out, it was like, all right, this is cool. Then I had some friends that were in the space that were like, well, that's not accurate to the. I'm like, who cares? Somebody brought it to life and they're making more.
Right.
What?
Right.
Some kid's
So-
going to watch this.
Right,
exactly.
And grow
right.
up with this.
That's like we live in this golden age. That's why I always get a chuckle out of the complainers. And online, there's there's always somebody. Star Wars fans are the worst, but I mean, we got Star Wars movies coming out all the time.
We do.
Marvel live action, almost every month there seems to be a new movie. DC rebooting a universe. We had a universe, a DC universe.
Yeah, it was-
If you would have told the 9-year-old me that this was an age we'd live in, be like, what? Nobody would be complaining. That sounds like heaven to me.
That's right.
But
Well, look at where movies are now. Every movie has an affiliation around some kind of power, some kind of superpower. You don't just see like a Goodfellas anymore. You don't
Right.
see the casinos or the
those
average
those
cop
are on
movies.
Netflix.
Those are on
Apple
Netflix.
TV.
Those are right.
That's
You
what
watch those
Netflix
on
is for
Netflix,
now,
but
yep.
the big theater stuff, the Schwarzenegger action packs and the Stallones, that's kind of fallen off.
Right.
So everything is veered and geared towards this delicious plate of entertainment. So if you get a bad one and you don't like it, well, then don't go see it in an expensive theater. Wait, but I'll watch it hands down at any time.
Yep.
Because to me, it's a story that somebody put down and created out of it this action, this graphic enhanced, gorgeous. It doesn't matter. So right now, all writers, they fall off. Sure, it gets boring. Sure. Oh, I didn't like the way that guy looked. I didn't like the way the Batman's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I thought it was an awesome movie. It was a great story. Was it my Batman? No. Who cares?
Right.
It was awesome.
Right.
Right. So Enigma. So what?
Right.
He was wearing the toxic suit.
yeah,
He
yeah.
wasn't his, riddle me this, I mean,
it
come
wasn't
on.
Frank Gorshin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's good entertainment.
Right.
That's what you want.
Yeah. We're
So-
spoiled. We're spoiled.
Yeah,
really
I mean, we really are.
We really are.
We are.
I will say about the potential quality of the new Flash movie. We haven't heard anything yet that they're mandating a runtime or anything.
No.
I think I saw something a while ago. It's clocking in at like 2.5 hours.
Right.
So it doesn't sound like they're cutting things up just for the sake of, hey, it has to be 2 hours. Like Justice League. I think Ant-Man, the new one,
Right.
was trimmed down because of studio.
And they're doing screenings for the Flash, like as
Yeah.
we speak. So I doubt there's going to be much tinkering
No,
done. I
it-
mean,
no,
it comes out
it's-
too
It's
soon.
finalized. I would have
Yeah.
to say it's pretty final, but
They seem to have confidence in it.
I think all the way up into the end where they were looking at their budget going, all right, so we had to pay that courthouse, that lawyer,
Yeah.
okay, so we're millions in on that. So cut out this now.
Right.
And then we won't even film that scene. We'll
Yeah.
just blend this together. They probably already did that.
I'm sure. But Tom Cruise contacted the director, Andy. How do you pronounce his last name? Andy
Muschietti.
Muschietti. But Tom Cruise saw a screener for the Flash and
Really?
contacted Andy Muschietti and said, "This is one of the best movies I've seen. One of the best action movies I've ever seen." And he bought him a gift.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not hear
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
So that's a good sign. Let's move on to what I think is the best movie trailer of all time, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Maybe not the best end product, but the trailer is pretty crazy. The perfect beginning.
So epic.
Get a little volume on that. Breathing. There it is right there. That's the kickoff.
Yeah.
This just looks Star Wars, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. It's just Star Wars all over it.
Yep.
Crawling.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the force. You believe it's this boy?
Samuel
Can see
Jackson in
things
Star
before they
Wars.
happen.
Can help you.
The force is unusually strong with him.
Anybody can be in Star
was
Wars
meant to
now.
be.
That's true.
You watch the show, right?
Tell him to take off!
Will I ever see you again? What does your heart tell you?
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know?
Anakin Skywalker, meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. He will kill you.
I sense much fear in you. The boy is dangerous. They all sense it. Why can't you?
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That
Yeah.
brings back so many good memories.
That's
Now
awesome.
that trailer debuted, I remember, on Entertainment Tonight in 98 or 99, and we were all setting our VCRs, and man, I broke the cassette, rewinding and rewatching it over and over again. That's an epic trailer.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. As a matter of fact, so I'm a fan of all the Star Wars, even the beginning ones.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people, they either have a love-hate for it. As you said, like Star Wars fans, they're picky.
Very.
And they really
To
want,
put it
but
lightly,
they can't justify, going from the middle of a story where our age, that was Star Wars.
Right.
We didn't know any different.
No.
We were a kid. I didn't even know Lucas wrote a beginning to an end. I thought that was just Star Wars.
That was it, yeah.
Right. It was New Hope, and then Empire, and
Jedi.
and Jedi.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Oh, speaking of, this weekend, 40th anniversary of Jedi.
That's right.
Is it really?
That's right. Yeah, it's coming back in theaters for, I think, the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. But what they did here is, even cutting it up through the trailer, on this trailer breakdown, I want to say, awesome job, because it wasn't the movie. It wasn't the whole movie.
Not at all.
But
no.
it carried the weight of the whole movie. Like, the whole movie was that exciting to me. From the pod racer, right when you knew it was Star Wars when he was on that pod racer and they played that music, and that's what gives me the goosebumps. I was like, this is Star Wars right here.
That's what the trailer does so effectively, is that it gives you glimpses of things that are just pure Star Wars.
Yeah.
From the laser blast to the Vader breathing to the
Yep.
music to, everything is just Star Wars, in your face Star Wars. They don't give away plot at all.
Nope.
You don't know what you don't know
No
that it's
idea what
about
the story is.
about a dispute over taxation. It's
Well, you do know a few things, right? Like, that young Anakin.
true, right?
Know
right.
that's the prequel. That's where he
Yep.
started, and all you knew was he was the evil warlord, right?
And now you see him as this cute little boy, and
Right.
how does he
Like,
become so
innocent,
evil?
Right. And if you remember watching the movie, the transitions kept up with the 70s versions.
Oh,
you know what I
with the
mean?
swipe,
They had the
screen.
swipe
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
drop.
Mhm.
And so they did good with trying to keep that feeling of it with newer technology involved. So it's fantastic. Gorgeous pictures, gorgeous. You saw the culture as it flies over this village and the bubbled houses, and all the way down to, well, if that wasn't made, then you wouldn't know about Clone Wars, which was the droids, Roger, those guys, right? I mean, that made the impression and the footprint for the next few movies that they made, which really was an impact to most of the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when this came out. Do you remember your first reaction to seeing Darth Maul? Like, who is this?
Yes.
That's the villain. Look at this guy.
So my ignorance was, I didn't know, Sith Lord was Vader. That was, you had the Emperor, you had Vader.
Sith wasn't even a mention.
It wasn't
the
even
original
like
trilogy.
right, like the culture of it wasn't really, or it might have been in the books, but I followed only so much of that.
Right.
I was more comic than I was Star Wars, but
I'm sorry, you were more what?
Comic.
Oh, comic.
Like,
okay,
comic books more than I was into the sci-fi with Star Wars, because you had a following. I was hated because I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek. So you can't like both.
You can't
I'm
like
like,
both.
watch me, because I just love sci-fi.
Yeah.
But so the Sith Lords, and so when I first saw Maul, the horns, and then
tattooed face,
and then it was
yeah,
on both sides. I was like, oh,
right, a
this is
double-bladed
awesome.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's
exciting.
It's a great trailer. It's an inventive movie. It has its flaws, but man, if you can't just give in and say it's Star Wars and love it, you got to check your pulse, I think.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, if you're gonna judge the trailer for not going to see the movie and it's a Star Wars movie,
right?
Don't see the movie and shut up about it.
Right.
That's basically what I have to say.
Nick, what do you think? What do you remember seeing this for the first time?
I was born in 1998.
Never mind.
There's a first time though.
So this was my first time.
Was
so
it
much
really?
Like The Flash was just not for true. This is my first time seeing the trailer for this.
What do you think trailer wise? How effective was it?
It's got my attention.
Yeah.
Similar to The Flash, it gives you a sense of the movie.
Yes.
Right.
Again, hopefully The Flash didn't give away everything. I don't think it did because
right.
If you're left with questions, it probably didn't, right?
Exactly.
And I'm left with a lot of questions after The Flash.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Just like I was watching the Star Wars trailer for the first time years and years ago, is everything was, what is that? Who's that? What are they doing? Why?
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
get a sense of scale of, like Drew said, the culture. And I think it mixes well with the nostalgia. It's not sheer nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah.
Which some of the newer Star Wars
relied real heavy on.
But I mean, to be fair with the prequels, they did take some risks. I mean, Jar Jar, you saw him for half a second.
Right. Which was enough.
Probably for good reason.
Yep.
But I mean, they did take risks. There's something to be said for that. But no,
And
I mean, it has my attention.
And a good trailer, I think, should get you to ask questions that you want answers to so that you go see the movie and get the answers that you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this one totally did it. Totally did it.
So Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on him being a Jedi?
Oh, he was perfect.
Hands down, right?
Perfect.
He like played that
Oscar
part.
Schindler.
Oscar Schindler.
I'm
Please.
trying to put myself in the 90s headspace
Right.
of, oh my God,
Oscar
Train
Schindler is a
this?
Jedi?
Right.
Oh, he was awesome. I remember when
Samuel
the
Jackson.
movie came out, though, before, because the internet wasn't huge at the time. But the CD for the soundtrack had a spoiler in the back. Track number 11 was Qui-Gon's funeral. We're like, oh no, like we love this guy.
Oh, he gave it away, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the book gave it away too.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So spoilers.
Spoiler
folks.
alert. Yeah,
Spoilers
Qui-Gon
again,
dies,
episode 1.
and Jar Jar's in it for more than 3 seconds.
Right.
Let's move on to another favorite
Awesome.
of mine. So Judge Dredd, the original
Oh yes.
Sylvester Stallone. You kind of hit on this, the 80s trailers, the Sylvester Stallone, this is a steroid infused trailer of a really bad movie. That this trailer with the soundtrack, with the actors, with the mix of comedy, it just makes it look like it should be so much more fun than the movie actually was. So let's check out Judge Dredd.
As a city, we continue to grow. 73 citizen riots. Come and get us! Throw out your weapons and prepare to be judged!
Nice.
Oh, that's what movies. What movies.
Court to jury.
I am the law. You're a legend. You are my finest student. Dredd, you're under arrest.
What's the charge?
Murder. The evidence has been falsified. Guilty as charged. I am the law.
Here it is.
I am the law.
You want chaos?
The
The
line.
sentence shall be life imprisonment. I'm the chaos. Dredd?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Have you not seen this movie?
Excuse me? We're not together.
It's not for this council to play.
I love this movie.
I do too. I do too.
Says politics is boring.
With Diane Lane and Rob Schneider as copy guy. I know.
The robot was my favorite part.
The ABC, yeah. Pretty dead on.
I'll be the judge of that.
Right, I know. Now that's a trailer.
Wow, that feels like a parody.
Does it? I know.
Of that movie.
It does.
Wow.
It does. The movie, I love the movie, but it's nothing like the trailer.
No, no.
Hilarious.
So the movie, hands down, you're not wrong when you say it's not a great movie, but I love.
I do
the
too.
movie.
I love it. I do.
And it gives me a feeling a little bit of the whole carryover to Demolition Man.
Yes.
And what are the 3 seashells for? The comic backing.
Right.
Rob Schneider. Is it Schneider?
Schneider.
Yep. Thank you.
From the Benchwarmers.
Correct. Right.
Of
awesome.
course.
One of my
How
big
could you
heroes.
forget the Benchwarmers?
I watched that the other day, actually.
Did you really?
I love the fact when he
Why would you do that to yourself?
When he drove Knight Rider over the giant curbs. It was hilarious. I watched it with my kids because they were on an Adam Sandler kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it had the comic relief in it. It had the explosions in it, lots of gunfire. And I mean, it's got Sly being like, I am the law.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's homegrown movie. Man.
Absolutely. It was your typical 80s, 90s action movie. It had the comedic sidekick. It had Arnold Schwarzenegger or Arnold. It had doesn't
Sly.
matter. It's
Same guy.
right.
Same guy.
Right. Same movie. Throwing out a few catchphrases, in his right. I am the law.
Right.
It had the explosions, the epic soundtrack, and then they always throw in that one classic actor, right? The classically trained actor, like Max von Sydow is in Judge Dredd. I mean, how did that happen?
Right.
This is the Xers.
Right.
Right.
They're like, nah, we're gonna have no Judge
Right.
Dredd.
We got to get Max von Sydow in this.
No one will take this movie seriously if we don't.
No.
have Max.
So do you
Right.
think so on the rating of it? Do you think that the trailer gave the whole movie up?
No, I don't think. I think it was. I really do think it was a really well done trailer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the editing in that trailer is top notch.
Yeah.
Top notch.
I would have to agree with you on that. I do, however, think that thinking back to the movie itself, it's pretty much every best scene of the movie.
It is.
It's pretty much the movie.
It does have all the
Yeah.
best scenes in it. Yeah, the
No.
ABC bot, like you mentioned.
Yep.
which was a really cool character scene. I think the best Rob Schneider lines are in the trailer.
Yep.
And there's not many, but that was it.
I'm not with him. I mean,
Yeah.
when he's like, I'm not with him, or we're not together,
Or when he mimics him, right?
or when he mimic him. Yeah. So I mean, they put it all in there.
Right.
So when you watch that whole trailer and you go see the movie, you're like, I gotta just watch the trailer.
So let me ask you this. So you mentioned Demolition Man, right?
Yeah.
Very similar in tone.
100%.
Demolition Man was a huge success.
So-
Judge Dredd is one of the biggest flops of all time.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Demolition Man, to me, that was one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I love the movie.
And cop gets frozen, comes back out, everything's Taco Bell.
Right.
He doesn't know what to do with the 3 seashells. And
I still
he's
don't.
trying to be. I didn't understand that either.
No.
I'm like,
Let's read the book.
right. But that movie alone, we could do a breakdown just on that movie.
You could.
Really.
I think the big difference between a Demolition Man and a Judge Dredd is one thing, and that's Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah.
Wesley carried it.
He
definitely carried it in Demo Man. It had the feel to it because you're nostalgic with the future. So if you're frozen in time, right? And you're like, wow, this is the future. Cars drive themselves and everything else. But you only know one way. And all of a sudden you find that classic muscle car.
Yep.
And what are you doing? Right.
Exactly,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was the catch all.
That fish out of water story
100%.
set in the future was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a far cry. Wesley Snipes is your villain from Armand Assante. Like they must have thrown all their money into Max von Sydow, and they're like, "Oh shit, we got to hire a villain. Who do we get? Armand Assante, come here." Right.
Yeah.
So,
I think
yes.
it may have bombed due to fatigue of these cyberpunk movies.
Yeah.
Kind of look the same.
Like the Johnny Mnemonics and
Johnny
everything else that was
Mnemonic.
out at the time.
So it's got
Super
washed out
Mario
without
Brothers.
all the
Super
other
Mario
Yeah.
Brothers. Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
I could see
Fair
that
to say.
burnout. Yeah.
And plus, I mean,
I think I saw that. I know I saw it at the McHenry Outdoor Theater. I know I saw it there, and I think I saw it with Lion King, which was
What
an
a
odd
combo.
pairing.
Is it?
Would you?
I mean, it's
Lion
a lot
King-
of death in both movies.
That's true.
Well,
it's true.
that's
There
true.
is a theme. Yeah. Let's
What
go
a
to
mashup.
let's go to the very first movie that was a viral sensation, which let's go to the Blair Witch Project. This was the movie that kind of set the internet on fire for the very.
This is my home, which I am leaving
Yep.
the comforts
Yep.
of for the weekend to explore the Blair Witch.
I can see you.
I'm real excited about this. Thank you for
I'm
the
very
opportunity.
glad.
This area's been haunted by that old woman for years.
I don't know why you have to have every conversation on video.
Because we're making a documentary.
Not about us getting lost. We're making a documentary about a witch.
I know.
Lost? Admit that first.
No, I know we're not lost.
You're all over the place.
But how do we know it was people?
Well, even if it wasn't, I'm not going to play with that either.
And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. Just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom.
Tell me where you are, John!
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now that's a scary trailer, right?
So, yeah, man, they did so good with that.
And you remember when it came out, we didn't know that it wasn't real.
Right.
Everybody went into this thinking, oh man, like, what are we really watching? Where did they find this tape?
Is this a documentary?
Right.
Is this that whole feel? They were the creators of that.
Yeah.
Because you've seen some after, right?
Sure. Oh, sure.
So they
yeah.
really made that. And I watched the movie and it was good.
Yep.
I don't know who wrote that. Do you know who wrote that?
Oh, I forget who wrote it.
Nick, have you watched Blair? Do you know who wrote
a
it?
few times, yeah. It was written and directed by some college kids.
Yeah,
they were
like unknowns,
right?
So that just kind of shows you the talent that's out there that are hungry.
Yep,
and will go that distance because that movie was good,
very good.
Yeah,
and shot for. I mean, it was shot on a camcorder for very little money. I remember the opening weekend it made something crazy like 1,000% times its budget in 2 days.
Yeah.
But the thing with this trailer that it does really effective too, one, there's no star power, so you don't know if it's real or not, right? You don't recognize any actors.
Nope.
But they were really effective in name dropping. They name dropped Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They name dropped Carrie. Movies that everybody who's a horror fan is like,
everybody knows,
man.
right?
So it's scarier than that. Well, give me this.
Right. And I haven't yet. So they don't really continue this style anymore. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. You're into horror, so Nick, what do you think?
If you don't have Shudder, the streaming service,
Shudder's awesome.
Shudder.
They've got.
I've seen it.
There are still innovations being made in the found footage genre.
Really?
Every 10 years or so, it popularizes again. Blair Witch obviously was the first to really popularize it. Paranormal Activity after that. Really nothing since then. There was like
Nick, have you seen As Above, So Below?
Yeah,
that's a really well done one.
Really
I thought
underrated.
Yep.
It's really fun.
What's the name of? There's something that my daughter showed me this too. They're clips. It's really creepy though. Like
VHS?
No, they're clips that it's on the internet, YouTube, and if you type it in, they're like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes long each, but it's all about like this setup. Woman walks or a guy walks into the laundry room of his apartment building and the lights are kind of flickering or whatever. And he drops the quarter and it rolls beyond and it hits somebody's shoe.
Is this real or is this
this is a show? I can't put my finger on it now. It's going to kill me unless I figure it out. But he looks up and it's like a creature, like
really
this thing, right? And it's like all of a sudden he looks up and it's there and he backs off and it's gone. So there's a bunch of those. You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to figure out what those are.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Turn the lights
my
on.
daughter come in
right.
and do a breakdown for us on those.
Oh, there you
That'd
go.
be fun because she knows them really well. Yeah.
I got to see this.
Yeah. It's good. And so scary stuff, like, listen, the new It was like, for me, I was like, wow, that's someone rose the bar.
Yeah.
That's about as good as big budget scary.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Otherwise it gets silly.
Yeah.
Some horrors just get too silly. It's like
sure.
mass gore and you can see it's fake.
Right, like Saw is kind of a parody of itself now, isn't it?
Now
They're
Blair
still trying.
Yeah.
Blair, they did it right. So, they put the little witch stuff in the trees and it wasn't like overpowered. Like there's sensibility of witch and it's making you psychologically think. And now you're in her shoes.
Right.
Right. So that's where you really sit. you sit in her shoes as if you were her, and what the hell would you do in that scenario?
Lost in the woods.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to apologize to their parents because now they're dead.
That's heavy stuff.
I mean, man, that's awesome. Awesome trailer.
And Heather Donahue was an actress, but had never been in anything. So again, you're watching this and you're not knowing that these are they actors? Are they not actors? What's really going on? And I think that's what sold it and made it the huge, viral sensation that it was. The first really big viral movie that there was.
Well, they had that website and everything. Like
That's right.
Actors were told not to do any interviews.
That's right.
Work really at all for the year after the movie was shot. I mean, they really went above and beyond it.
And before we move on to the next one, the other thing was I remember walking out of the theater and there were people who were sick. Yeah. I'm like, it wasn't that scary. I mean, it was a good movie, but it wasn't that scary. But this was the first movie that brought on the advent of the shaky cam movie sickness, right?
Yeah.
People who were getting sick from the camera shaking around, and
epilepsy,
right?
All this other stuff happening,
all sorts of trouble. So the movie was effective on a few different levels. Let's move on to one of my all-time favorites, and I know Drew, you love this one too. But Back to the Future, Back to the Future, the trailer. How'd they do this?
You could tell.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Well, history is going to change.
And 1985 is not his year.
Yeah.
But Dr. Brown is about to change all that.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
He's sending Marty 30 years back in time.
It worked! It's a flying saucer from outer space!
Now, he's trapped in the past.
It's gotta be a dream.
About to meet
Chocolate.
his future father.
He's a peeping Tom. Wow!
And he's making an impression on his mother.
It's an absolute dream. And he can sleep in my room.
Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events.
Now, he's got to make his mother and father fall in love.
For crying out loud, I haven't even been born yet.
And only Dr. Brown can help him get back to the future.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Precisely.
Michael J. Fox,
The world is heavy.
Christopher Lloyd,
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Back to the Future.
Oh, wow. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room real quick. The narration, right?
Yeah.
that's so
That
80s.
says 80s all over it, man.
Yep. Marty McFly is a man from 1985, and he's going bam back to the future.
That's even before the the narration where it was always the same narration. One man.
Oh yeah, was it Don Fontaine? I think his name was. Yeah, in a world where. Yeah.
Right. So all right, let's break it down. So the movie is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, sure.
And the trailer didn't do the movie justice.
No.
But it didn't show all of the best stuff, So which makes it. But it was enough to say, hey, there's a time machine, and this guy's gonna go hang out with his mom, where she's hitting on him,
right?
Which got a little weird. And it kind of gave you the feeling of where you're gonna go with the movie,
right?
But not the best trailer in the world.
No, and this is, I think, kind of the opposite of what Judge Dredd was, which was a bad trailer or a good trailer for a bad movie. Where this Back to the Future, I think, was a huge hit. I mean, people are still breaking that film down today online.
Yeah.
But this was a bad trailer for a movie that was highly successful. But the trailer, you remove the narration, I think it might work a little better.
Probably.
But it's a sloppy trailer, man. It looks like a trailer for any other 1980s, ski, there's a bully and the guy trying to win the ski contest and
on the K-12.
Right, on the K-12. What is that? What am I thinking?
Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
I think it'd be interesting if that exact trailer was released today.
Yes. Even if that was the type of trailer they did for current films.
Yeah, the exact kind of narration. I think people would be like what?
Apollo Creed's son is on, is on a collision course with wackiness.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We should recut some trailers for that'd be great.
That would be hilarious. No, I agree with you guys. It definitely doesn't do the movie justice. I think part of that is just because the movie works so well as a whole,
right,
and not so much as in chunks.
I agree. Yeah,
Well, I mean, listen, you're in marketing and editing, right? So, if we're going to go back to Judge Dredd a little bit, so we're going to throw all this money at the budgeting at the trailer, but we have to scale back on our budget for performance. They did the opposite. So they were probably like, chop up what you can and put a trailer out. And Bob, you're narrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
what's his name? Yeah, come here. You're a narrator.
Right. So even with the special effects they had back then, that was the state of the art.
Yeah.
Right. For what they were doing. So I'm sure it wasn't cheap to make.
Well, also Back to the Future was filming like almost right up to its release. So I got to imagine it was really difficult to make a trailer for a movie that was still,
well, that's true too. Yeah, that's true.
Well, obviously we have the gift of hindsight. It could have just been that, Zemeckis was like, hey, once this movie's released, everyone's going to go see it. Everyone's going to love it.
Trailer's not going to make a difference. Just roll it out.
Out there.
And could it just be a victim of its time too?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I remember being in a theater watching a movie. I can't tell you what movie it was because I don't remember, but I'll tell you what I do remember. When the trailers hit and you saw Back to the Future 2 come out, everybody was like,
right.
I mean, it went out of control, right?
Yep.
So they didn't need to throw, and they added more budget to that trailer.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and I think they did 2 and 3
back to
simultaneously, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, good movie.
Cool.
Trailer, garbage.
Little garbage on the trailer. Yeah. Next one, I think we can both agree, not garbage on the trailer nor the movie. Certainly. Let's check out Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's gonna be one of the best ones yet.
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica. And I've spent the last 5 years setting up a kind of biological preserve. What kind of park is this? We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
It's dinosaur.
The effects are still unbelievable.
I mean, the scale, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt
up to today.
our attractions will drive kids out of their minds.
Grandpa!
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
No CGI.
We're going to open next year. That is if the lawyers don't kill me first.
What species is it?
It's a
Here we go.
The park will open with the basic tour you're about to take.
Don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen. You wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
These are aggressive living things that have no idea what century they're in, and they'll defend themselves violently if necessary.
Dinosaurs and man, two species separated by 65 million years of evolution, just been suddenly thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?
Hey, what'd I touch? I didn't touch anything. We stopped. Anybody hear that?
The classic scene right here, right?
It's an impact harm is what it is.
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on.
What the hell? Fences are failing all over the park.
Samuel Jackson's in a lot of good
Shut down a ton of all the fences.
Fairly alarmed here.
Hold on to your butt.
Oh no.
That.
Call them Island. Tell them to send the damn helicopters.
Alan!
I
can't get Jurassic Park back online.
Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go.
Come on. We gotta get out of here.
The only thing that matters now are the people we love.
Which is just a delay. That's all it is. All major theme parks have delays.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
We have control.
You never have control. That's the illusion.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
There it is. Man, oh man.
Wow. Well, right off the bat, I can tell you this. I love the trailer because it almost showed me too much information.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It gives,
you know what I mean? Like,
way
you didn't
too much.
need
But
to go. Let me break it down to what I liked versus what I didn't like. Okay. What I liked about it was it showed a segment of holy crap, the scale, right? And it gives you that view of the scale. Makes me want to go to the theater just because, man, they did awesome on the animation, the dinosaurs, the scale and how big they are versus the people standing in front of them.
Right.
That was a catch. Then they moved on and they explained, like, yeah, everything's happy go fun time, or is it? And then you saw the foot into the mud.
Yep.
When they came down after the water shook and you saw the T-Rex and the fence was broken open, they should have stopped it there.
Yep.
Because that's what says, okay, everything's great. Shit just hit the fan.
Yeah.
Right. And now you need to go see why. They gave out so much information to where it was almost a whole movie.
It's a mini version of the movie, isn't it?
It is,
Like the whole
100%.
the beginning of the trailer is just like the beginning of the movie. Like, oh, cool. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? And then there's the shit hits the fan moment.
Correct.
I agree. They should have stopped it right there and then come to the movie to see what happens now. But instead they show you way too much of the massacre that happens.
Well, you can literally, if let's go back in time, Jurassic Park's in the theater. Nick comes up to me and says, "Did you watch that movie?" And I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, "Of course," because I saw the trailer. I can literally break it down.
You can get away with it.
I can totally get away with it.
Yeah.
Just because you
saw the trailer.
Right. Predictive. Fill in the gaps later when it comes out on VHS. That's what I would.
It's almost like when you had to
Why
do
would you go
book
see it?
reports in school that were
the cliff notes.
Yeah, you would.
Right?
Well, I would read the first chapter, the last chapter, the back of the book. Done. I would always get. I'd always get good on book reports.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You watch a trailer for Jurassic Park, you could fake your way through a conversation with someone about seeing it when you really hadn't.
Yeah. Well, and they did decent with the series, right?
Oh, sure,
And then when you saw the next trailer, you go, oh, it's another Jurassic Park. That's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
And then when the next one came out, you're like, okay, Jurassic Park again. Oh, okay. How many Jurassic Parks are there? And then it was Jurassic World.
Right.
Then they changed it up a little bit. And I really enjoyed that.
I thought Jurassic World was really well done.
Yeah,
The first
I thought
Jurassic World
because they utilized the continuous storyline of what was.
Right.
We're gonna go back to making it a verse, right?
But what they did effectively with Jurassic World, when you look at it compared to Jurassic Park, is we talked about this. What if, right? That's the most fun question in Hollywood.
It is the what if.
What if the park was successful? What if the park had opened? What if people did show up?
Yep.
Now that's an interesting concept.
They made that happen.
Yep.
And then it failed because they blended spoilers, folks. They blended the worst of the worst together and made this, crazy monster. Chris Pratt, though, right?
Oh,
so you got, and then you go old school, some of the original actors that were in it. And so now they're blending together. That's kind of cool.
So you get the nostalgia
you got the
factor.
nostalgia
Yep.
factor of it, and you can flash back to it. But if they keep doing it, it will lose its effect and its
Right.
effectiveness, on we clone dinosaurs, which we probably do now. Because that's we're cloning sheep. Why not?
Odds are,
Who knows?
Well, you bring up an interesting point about Jurassic World being the answer to one of the questions that the first one asks.
Mhm.
And then the new trilogy decided to ask a bunch of more questions,
Right.
and then not answer any
Right.
of them. Like,
Yes.
oh, what if dinosaurs got loose in the normal world?
Right.
And then they answer
was-
that in the first like 3 minutes. Of
Exactly.
The new one. It's like they would coexist peacefully.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't want to
But
see
that
that. I
should
don't
have
want
been-
to see
yeah.
that.
Right.
I want to see people
We
getting
went-
ripped apart
right,
in New York
right.
City. Something like
Yeah, yeah. And it
No,
went
I
on for
agree.
like 3 hours of, but you're right. The question was answered in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We still had 2 hours and 57 minutes left of, okay, well, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a new facility. It's just Apple
Right.
headquarters
Right.
for
Right.
dinosaurs.
Apple headquarters
It's
for
like-
dinosaurs.
That's awesome.
So before we're done here, because man, time flew here with
Yeah,
the,
man. We
the
got
Golden
5
Age
minutes.
trailer breakdown. Has there ever been a trailer or a TV spot for a movie that you initially did not want to see that made you want to see the movie?
By watching the trailer?
Yeah.
Mm,
Or Nick, how about you?
that's a
Anything?
good one. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good
Right
question.
off the top, I want to say Alita Battle Angel.
Alita Battle Angel.
'Cause-
That's a great
because
one.
that-
Wow, that's
I
a
mean,
great movie.
I'm not like anime. I'm not
Yeah.
really anything. So that didn't seem up my alley. And then I
That's
saw
an
it and I
interesting
was like,
answer.
that actually looks
There's one that
like a
happened to
lot
me
of fun.
just last week. I had no interest in seeing Evil Dead Rise.
Oh my gosh, I have thoughts about that movie.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that one. We got to do a horror show, I think. one
I
of these
think
days.
that's one of our next themes before we start doing the clip chop up.
Yeah.
Because Nick will be running on that one.
Yeah.
Big time.
But I had no interest in seeing it. I'm kind of over the Evil Dead phase.
Sure.
But then I watched the trailer. I'm like, oh man, like they went all out for this one. This
Yeah.
is so yeah, and that made me want to go see the movie. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, there is, and I haven't seen the movie yet. And that's Blue Beetle.
Oh,
I
sure,
was
yeah.
like, I don't
How
know
they
if
gonna
I'd
do
watch
this?
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a comic nerd, I get it, but how are you really gonna do that? And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm
They
watching
did
that.
it.
I'm watching that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
That brings up a point from earlier about like the day and age that we live in compared to even 20 years ago with like where it was like, oh, Spider-Man's coming out. Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
Right.
I mean, Blue Beetle's not getting made 20 years ago.
No way. No
10 years
way.
ago.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
That's a movie that has to be made.
The ones that
right
they
now.
really feel. What was the one with Dolph Lundgren where he was living in this? It was the original Punisher. Was
The Punisher. Yeah, he was the
I was
original
like,
Punisher.
I went to see that with my brother. We literally got up after 10 minutes and walked out of the theater.
Really?
I was like, that is a giant heaping
Oh, I
pile of
hope
shit.
Dolph doesn't find out you did that.
Sorry, Dolph. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
More
Dolph,
Expendables.
I think Drew just
Yeah.
meant to say his brother saw it alone and walked out.
Right,
after
there
10
you go.
I'm not afraid. I got camera muscle.
Are you mad? So there was actually a lawsuit recently where so trailers can no longer lie to you. Trailers can no longer put in footage in the trailer that's not in the movie. Would you get mad when you would see something in a trailer that ended up not being in the end product?
No,
didn't bother you.
No. Well, I mean, I would ask the question why.
Right.
I didn't see that. Did I miss that part? It wasn't getting popcorn or something when that happened.
Yeah.
But no. As a matter of fact, it leaves a little more like maybe it ran over. Maybe they had to trim back some of the fat.
Yeah.
Nine times out of 10, that was usually the case. Are you telling me that they would purposely put something in?
Yes.
I didn't know
Like
that.
Marvel's notorious for that. Like remember in Infinity War, they show Hulk running through Wakanda.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Nope.
Or if you remember Predators, Predators with Adrian Brody.
Yep.
At the end of that trailer, he's all muddied and bloodied, and they show all the little they
Yep,
had all
the
the
dots on him.
Yep. Never happened. And
That's
those are
just-
cool
it's just the one.
scenes. Yeah, so you can't do that anymore. So I'm kind of glad about that because that would always upset me. Because the whole movie, I'm waiting for that
never caught
scene.
on
You're
to
like,
that.
there's 10 minutes left. We're all the what's happening to Adrian Brody.
I think Marvel can get away with it because misdirection is part of their whole thing.
Right.
But when a movie like Morbius
Yeah.
is like, oh, there's Spider-Man posters in the background.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many characters. And then
That's wrong.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I got a whole thing on that movie in itself.
like
Morbius.
half of the trailer is not in the movie.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There are
Yeah.
a bunch of lines that Jared Harris's doctor character says in the trailer. He's
Not
just
even-
not in the last hour.
No.
of the movie.
Right.
Yeah. But he says the stereotypical, "Oh, you must choose if you want to be the hero or the." It is. It's
Yeah.
just not said. in the
So
movie.
so setting this, and I know we got to go, but before we go, setting the stone after the movie in the trailers when they started doing that.
Oh,
where they started
the
putting in
buttons
their
at the end. Yeah.
the secret like scene
Right.
at the end, right? Where it made people stay around through the credits.
Right.
I think was that a, and you would know this more than me, was that a Marvel started that whole thing?
It had been in a few movies before, but
Yeah.
that became Marvel kind of capitalized on that. And as a theater owner, I hate it.
Oh gosh,
because I'm trying to clean.
Right,
Like,
get
get
out.
out of here. We're trying to get
You're
rid
done.
of your garbage. Everyone waits, and everyone waits for the end of every movie now,
Right,
they
'cause they just don't know.
and everyone copies Marvel. So yeah,
right.
If you're gonna sequel bait, just do it in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the Pope's Exorcist I just saw.
Did they do it for that? Come
Hard
on.
sequel bait.
Did they
It was-
really?
I mean, spoiler alert if you're interested in seeing the Pope's Exorcist. At the end of the movie, Russell Crowe is in the Vatican and he's got his priest buddy with him that helped him with the big exorcist. And one of the leaders is like, there are 199 spots in the world where evil cannot be touched by the church or something like that.
Oh my God, really?
And they're like, are you ready? And Russell Crowe is like, I will need help. And that's literally
No
how the
way.
movie ends.
Oh, it would
was
have been so much better
slimy.
if they ended it with Russell Crowe going, "Are you not entertained?"
I will say the movie itself was not horrible. It was your standard. Russell Crowe is great, by the way.
Yeah.
But so ham-fisted.
Yikes. Oh, man.
But at least they did at the end. You're not waiting 5 minutes in the credits.
Right. It's actually
just
part of
to
the
hear
movie.
that.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
Awesome, man.
Well-
Well, probably should wrap it up. Huh?
Yeah, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn and our Golden Age trailer breakdown. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another special show for you. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.
See you then.